almost an invitation to be part of this movement beyond yourself, which is kind of the next question. And I'm going to come back to you for this one because, you know, we can spend a lot of time talking about brand or brand theory, but when a brand comes to life, there's a lot underneath that. There's a lot of kind of really thinking, well, how does it resonate? How does it reach the target audience, and how does it remain authentic? And, you know, I would love to kind of, you've worked with a lot of brands over the years. I'm not saying you're old, by the way. I'm just saying you've worked with a lot of brands. So how do you make a brand more than words? How do you make a brand activate and come to life?
Well, I think Jason said it very well, and you kind of touched on it earlier. You know, we have all these amazing stories. There's so much, so many assets all that to work with. The big focus on this is trying to kind of commercialize that, right? If this is a story about originality and authenticity, you can't go out and let's make some ads and put it on TV and tell people, almost dictate to them what that experience is going to be. They're very similar to the National Parks campaign where you know, you need to invite people in to experience the city, to experience the brand on their own, because you know that's what is so amazing about brands is we connect to them individually. We connect to them in different ways. You know, Emily's connection to Memphis is very different from mine. You know, so we want to make sure that we build a really strong brand, but we even open this for people to experience it on their terms. And especially when you talk about millennials, and now you've got the centennials behind them, you need to be able to allow that space for the way they interpret it and the way they kind of access the brand. Now, the crazy part of this story then is, especially dealing with centennials and millennials that are a little bit the same way, you know, they need to experience it on their own, but they're not huge consumers of traditional media. In fact, a centennial isn't going to watch TV. They don't watch it. Their primary form of entertainment is YouTube, okay? Usually through a little teeny device that's about 3 inches by 3 inches. So, you know, this is if there is anything anymore that is actually a traditional campaign, this is a very non-traditional campaign. Okay, this is getting those stories out, whether it's into social or to PR, and just, I think somebody said it earlier, we're trying to create a conversation. You know, that's what we want people to do. You know, is yes, come and bring their soul. We want people to start talking about it. Talk about us in a positive way and kind of spread that conversation as they go out. So I think, you know, to me, that's primary focus right now, if you want to call it marketing. You know, and I look out in this room, and I don't know how many hundreds of people are here. We're all the brand ambassadors for this. We all carry that message, you know, and you're all going to carry it in a different way that's unique to you, unique to how you're going to tell that story. But we all need to carry that message out as well.
That's great. And that's a great segue to my next question, which will kind of get to the whole panel. And that is, what is it that we can all do to participate in this Memphis brand, to bring it to life, to give it the character that we all think it deserves? Maybe we'll start with Emily for that.
Yeah, I'm glad that we are having this conversation, and I'm excited to challenge each of you. So I know we talk a lot about millennials, and we talk a lot about multicultural millennials. And if you're not in those groups, you're like, well, great, this presentation is not for me. Wrong. What we were talking about there is focus. There's a sheer size and a magnitude and importance of that community, particularly given our demographics and ages that are here. That's where you're seeing some of the greatest growth. And there's been some fantastic highlights recently about how millennials are choosing to live in Memphis, and fastest growing cities for millennials, and this great excitement around our multicultural community with accolades left and right. And I'm fortunate to share this with Econ Diocese and great previews of stuff to come. But there was a great study that I read about this morning that said that another really influential group that marketers should be thinking about is on transformists. And congratulations, you're all transformists. That's what we're asking you to be. By definition, transformists can be any age, but they are people who are tech savvy or digital savvy or care about change and then therefore get engaged with brands. And so whether you got drugged here or you chose to come here, I'm going to count you in this group. Congratulations, you're now a transformist. And that's what we're asking you to do. There's no script, although we're happy to help share language. There's no have to definition. It can show up like written grind for Jason, and it can look totally different for us as a brand that's focused on taking care of children, driving research. But we're asking you to infuse that into what you do, to speak positively about the city, to ask your, whatever it is in your organization, your students, your employees, whoever it might be that you can influence, to be a part of this and start sharing the good news of what it could be. We ask people to get involved. You see problems, don't stay on the sidelines and complain about them. Get out there, get involved, help us drive change, help us be that city we're aspiring to be. And so that's what the Memphis Brand Office does. There's fantastic resources to do this, but we don't do it alone. That's the other thing. My challenge to you is please do it together. My fear is that we'll have some people sitting here and say, well, that was Y&R and I'm a part of a different agency. Nope, we're all in it together. But that's only big brands that sit up here. Nope, we're all in it together. We literally want everyone to take part of this, share the resources. We do this with the chamber, we do this with the CDB, we do it with educational organizations, and we do it community by community. Orange Mound to Collierville to Germantown. So that's the challenge for all of you all, is to not just walk out away and say, that's nice, and I'm glad those people are driving it. It only works if this is a movement that we all drive, and so please find your way, do your part, and help bring your soul to life, so we really do drive those objectives we're trying to achieve.
I can do you have any builds on that? I know she's hard to
Amen.
follow, but.
Come on, I can count on
Amen,
it.
sister. All right, the only thing is that I ask Memphians to do is really look up under your feet and realize how green the grass is here. We oftentimes can look at Nashville, look at Atlanta, look at St. Louis. The grass is damn green right here. And so I ask you all to get out and experience what is Memphis, because that's when you really realize how green our city is.
Teacher,
I
please.
just want to add to what Emily said. We all can be brand ambassadors for Memphis, but I'm going to ask our media outlets to do the same. So some of that positive news, we want to see some of it, right? And then it'll be our responsibility to then go out and share, continue to share. Because Memphis is great. We have great assets, we have great people, we have great organizations, but we can do our part to share what's going on in Memphis. And we ask the media outlets to be our partners in that.
You want to add something, Jason?
Sure. What I always say distinguishes Memphis from people who live in it is that you have access in Memphis that you don't have in other cities, and you can have an impact in Memphis that you can't have in other cities as an individual. And so just being in a room like this, you have access to people, you have access to materials, and then you can use those materials, you can use those people in a way to have an impact in our city that is disproportionate to what you would have other places. So if y'all heed what Deirdre and Emily and everybody have been saying, you can take these materials that you have access to and you can go really be impactful within our city, not just internally, but externally as well.
Great. That's great. You know, part of what I always really like to stay focused on is that, you know, we are also realists here. We understand that Memphis has issues, that there are problems, that there are very real challenges that we have as a community. And for all of those challenges, we have brilliant minds that have come here to Memphis or that are from Memphis that are tackling those challenges. And the world is watching. And we've talked about that. We've talked about some other, what we'll call obstacles that this brand faces. I would charge the panel with that question next. What, as this Memphis brand evolves, and I would say we are in real-time evolution, what are some of the challenges or obstacles that we collectively as brand ambassadors face in the years ahead? We'll start with you, Price.
We know crime is an issue in our community, and we know that we need, higher wages when it comes to jobs. But we can't just talk about it. We have to be the solution, right, to work on it. So if you are a part of, the chamber or NAACP or the board of the new Tri-State Defender Calvin, it is our responsibility to work on, not just because we can't just hold the mayor accountable. We can't just hold the city council, the county mayor, the the county commission, state, we are all responsible for the change that we want to see in our community. And I do believe, foundationally, it has a lot to do with good paying jobs in our community. We're working on our education system. We need more jobs. I know the chamber's working on, looking at what opportunities there are to bring businesses in here, but our workforce needs to be ready for those jobs. And so it's not just their responsibility, it's our responsibility to work on that as well. And how do we do that? Pick up the phone, we ask how can we help, and we be serious about that.
That's really powerful. Would you just tag on to that for a second? What's the role that brand can have on bringing jobs to Memphis? That's what you said.
The role that brand can have in bringing jobs to Memphis is to showcase the good work that we're already doing here. Look at the work St. Jude's doing and the opportunities that they're bringing talented young people to this community. If we showcase that in other industries as well, that helps elevate the brand.
That's great. Emily, can you think of any other obstacles or challenges in Memphis?
Yeah, thank you, Deirdre, because I think she highlighted a lot of the ones that we're having conversations about. But I'll tell you, the brand lady in me struggled with something mightily. David led off the presentation in this way. It frustrates me to no end that our greatest problem is our own. I love research. I'm a total research nerd, so I've never let me do it in a public setting. And so if you look at the research, it says like a marketer's dream. Meaning when you took a national survey, almost a 50% majority said they think really highly of Memphis. And it's a marketer's dream. On the other half means they don't know anything about us. So that means we can influence them. I've had you look at all the data, every other data, all the sets, people are positive about Memphis, or they're curious about Memphis, or they're not beating us up in the way we are. And I'll say it's one of my favorite things about this place is we're very authentic and we're very transparent. But let me help you with that. You do not have to meet somebody and then verbally vomit all of our problems. And that's sometimes what we try to do here. I don't know if that's an insecurity that comes for us, but as someone who used to live in Texas, we're missing some swagger around this joint. Which is sad, because think about what's been invented here, and I think literally a swagger and a hip shake was invented here. So my ask is this, because every other great brand is built from the inside out. When you build a brand, anybody down the road will tell you, if your employees, whoever's internally not bought in, you don't go anywhere with it. And so if we want to get somewhere, and we want to change the narrative, then we have to start talking differently about our city. We have to start being different. We have to start getting engaged and solving some of those problems, and to X's point, highlighting all the green grass underneath our feet. So that would be my challenge is, let's stop being the thing that's dragging us down when everybody else thinks great things. Let's be the loudest trumpeters of what's good. Let's be the biggest change agents. Let's own who we are, which is quite frankly